Welcome to more Wizard Yachting Adventures here at Grand Lake, Oklahoma. We're going to take a look at this boat we just bought. If you haven't watched the last video, you better watch it now because you will see a night and day difference. The link is in the description. Make sure you click on that before you watch this one because it will all make sense. Let's take a look. So we're here with my new yachting buddy, Mark, and he is a boat El Capitan. So you actually have a much bigger yacht than this one, don't you?
I've got a 38 Sea Ray aft cabin, which you captained last night and saved our butt. Not only is he a car wizard, he's a boat wizard.
I'm becoming a boat wizard. Yeah, it's having some issues with the idle motors on that, isn't it?
Correct, yep.
We got her going again, though.
Saved us from getting towed in last night.
So if you've been keeping along in the previous videos, you saw that we bought a bay liner, and it's actually still here, and it's being sold at the moment. But we quickly realized, although it was a good boat, it was just way too small. And I started searching around, and at that time I met Mark, and he hooked me up on this. And what's the story on this one? It's been sitting here for a while, hasn't it?
A couple years. And I think the old guy, he had lost his vision or something like that, to where he wasn't able to use it anymore, and it was just kind of sitting here gathering dust and looked better on y'all than just sitting here not doing nothing.
Yep, and just like I mentioned in the video previous to this one on this boat, it was completely covered in filth, and it had 2 or 3 years of accumulated junk, and in that video you saw it was really bad. Fast forward to now, you can see, although it's not been waxed and buffed, we had to spend a whole day scrubbing and cleaning the crust off. It was literally a crust of filth and dirt and mud all over this whole top and bottom of this boat. We'll go ahead and take a look around it, and then we'll go inside and look at what we've done on the interior. So as you can see, those cushions are nice and white again. They were almost black or brown, completely covered in filth. They were really, really bad. Now they're very clean and white. The side's all nice and clean. The windows are clean. My daughter actually cleaned those and they turned out really good. I'm really happy for that. As you can see, this one is 36 foot long. It's actually a little longer with the swim platform, probably more like 38. So what are all those 4 holes on top there on the, what is that, the gunnel?
On the gunnel rails?
Yeah.
That's for your waste pump out, and some of them are probably for your fuel also.
Okay.
So both sides, usually you can kind of have access to do your holding tanks and your fuel tanks.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. At the forward bottom of that window there's a little black port, and you were telling me that was like a telephone?
Yep, that's the old school, or some of the marinas have like a marine telephone plug-in, and you have one on either side so you can have old school phone system that we don't use much anymore.
That's way back then, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. We'll move on down to the aft section of the boat. So we still have tons of work to do, although we've filled up a large dumpster probably 2 times with all the junk that came out of here. You can see the teak railing. There's teak strips here on the gunnel, and there's also teak flooring on the aft deck and also in the helm. I guess it's the cockpit up there. It all needs to be cleaned and refinished. We're going to plan on doing that. There's still a lot more cleaning to go, but compared to the way it was when we first got it, this thing is 100 times better.
It's coming back to life, isn't it?
Yeah. I think this old boat really deserved it. It didn't deserve to sit here for 10 more years and sink.
This is too nice of a boat to let go down.
Yep. Let's head on up to the helm. Also in the previous video about this boat, you could see the helm was completely covered in dust, so much so that you couldn't even see the gauges. And it was literally this thick all over the dashboard up here. It was really, really nasty. Now you can see all the gauges. I've got a preliminary wipe down on them. And you were thinking, Mark, theirs are all new.
Yeah, it looks like they've upgraded all the, kind of stuck with the old school look, but looks like they've all been replaced, nice and clear, not all foggy and sun faded like some of them get.
Yeah.
Plus then you've got new Lowrance and some other little upgrades, so.
I've got a lot more upgrades to go.
Exactly. never enough. It's like a car. You never get done till you get to the next one.
Yours has what? It's got radar and it's got
Autopilot.
GPS, autopilot. So these are the gear shift levers on either side there.
Correct, and then your
And there's throttles
up
here.
there at the top.
Some of the newer boats, like on yours, the gear shift levers look similar to this, but it'd be like right here. Or
Correct. And then you also have some boats, the newer stuff, have electronic shifters where they're all in one, and it's drive-by-wire like your car is.
Oh, yeah.
And they're usually kind of all in one. Your shifter and your gas is the same
Yep.
controller.
Last weekend, Mark helped us get this bimini top up, and it's a little loose, but at least it's there and it's intact. And we actually have all the isinglass that goes around here. We're going to try to test fit it next weekend, and if everything fits well, we're going to have it all remade. You were mentioning you can usually find an upholsterer to...
Yeah, and your guy that you guys use there in town, I'm sure take him then see what he can do first, or at least point you in the right direction on something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because on the lake, it's good to have isinglass, because unlike seasonal boaters, you and I will probably be out even in the middle of winter. It can be warm, out of the wind, and still cruising on the lake when everybody else is at home and already parked their boat for the winter.
Exactly. This is more year-round boating with the full enclosure than just the summertime. So
Yep.
makes it nice. And then it makes it another room back here, for hanging out, and
Yep.
makes it like an screened-in porch or whatever at homes.
This one's a pretty good size. It's probably double what the Bayliner is.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole lot more enjoyable. Which the Bayliner was a nice boat. It just with family and friends and stuff, those smaller boats get tight quick.
Yeah, they get real tight real quick. If you remember in the last video, this thing you didn't even want to sit on. It was absolutely disgusting. Mrs. Wizard has gone to work with a magic eraser. It's nice and clean. It could go maybe a little bit more cleaning, but it is 99% there. It is really close.
Actually, I would have gone further, but I used up the magic eraser.
Oh, magic eraser's all gone, huh?
It's all gone.
Mrs. Wizard also has, this chair came with the boat, and we brought this table. She painted the top blue, and this will be a nice sitting area when it's nice out to be in the outdoors. It looks really nice, Mrs. Wizard.
Thank you.
Let's head on into the interior. I got more questions for El Capitan Matthews. Well, it's nice and cool in here, isn't it, buddy?
Man, feels a lot better. Stop sweating.
That's a huge bonus. This thing has 2 air conditioners, forward and aft, and they both work flawlessly. That was a real bonus for me. I was worried, like I said in the previous video, that we would get this boat and half of everything would be broken. But amazingly, 80 to 90% of everything, it came alive.
It did. I mean, I was getting kind of worried there, but
Yeah.
it's come along.
Well, let's take a look in this access panel. There's a generator down here and air conditioning units and a whole bunch of other things going on. It's pretty interesting. You can see the Onan generator here, 6,500 watts system, and you can see the marina has the impeller or the water pump for the raw water apart. I'm having them do the impellers on that and also on the rear main engines. You can see the 2 air conditioning units, the cruise air. There's a forward and a rear one. It does have a residential water heater. You were thinking, Mark, that that's best to have marine units, isn't it?
Yeah, but since it's not directly in your engine room, later on you might want to go back to a marine. A marine also has on some of them, you also have a closed cooling system that you can run from your engines. So when you're out on the water, heats up the water with your engine water, so you don't have to always run, like if you don't run it on 110 or anything like that, cruising all day long, it still gives you hot water at the end of the day.
So see the exhaust coming off of this generator, it looks like it goes to a drum. What is that down there?
That's your exhaust for the generator. It fills up with water and then empties back out. It's kind of your silencer slash cooling system for your exhaust for your generator.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
And you know what the best part of all this is?
What's that?
you're in air conditioning heat to work on it if you ever
Right.
have to.
Yeah, the few times I've worked on stuff in here this weekend, it's like, wow, this is nice. It's air conditioned here. I can work.
Yeah, you're not outside like the rest. Some of them, you're inside in the cool and the heat.
Directly below Mrs. Wizard is 2 large fuel tanks, and also below me, if you can see, they're like a round gray colored. It's got 4 large tanks. I don't know, how much would you think is in there? 200 gallons, 300 gallons?
You're probably, yeah, at least 200 or 300 because I've got 150s on mine.
All right, I'll get this thing closed up here.
Hey guys, welcome to the new boat. And even though I just got done finishing the bay liner and I'm kind of sad to see it go, I'm actually happy that there's so much space in this one. Last time, when you guys, the last video, there was stuff covering every square inch. All of the cabinets were filled with food. Some of the food was brand new. Actually, a lot of it was brand new, and you can kind of get an idea how big they were. We've already got a couple of shelves and baskets in here. But when I opened up stuff, there was like a bottle of ketchup, and it should be nice and rosy red, and it was like really dark and gross. It was like, oh. So all that food that was in here got trashed. I've cleaned it out, put shelf liners in, trying to get things organized. I've put all of the woodwork. This has beautiful, beautiful mahogany woodwork, but it was, some of it had not been treated probably in ever since 1974. And it desperately was wanting some more furniture polish, some oil on it, and it just soaked it up. So I've done all of the woodwork in here. I've got a few more things I want to work on yet. I'm gonna try and install it, maybe move this up, put it off the counter, give us a little bit more counter space, because you can see I don't have a whole lot, and upgraded to getting a bigger Keurig, because of course that's super important. The one thing that was really, really, really bad in here was the old refrigerator. And remember last time the door fell off on the Wizard, Will? This time the Wizard did get it out, and the Wizard lost more than the door. He lost his cookies on that one. It was so bad. The people, I don't think they realized what they were doing when they thought, oh, we're just going to come back in a week or two, and that week or two turned out to be never. And there was food in there, like in the freezer section, and it was just rotten, because this thing sat with no power for probably months, if not a year. And when he went to throw it out, the wave of smell just was like overpowered him, and there went lunch. So otherwise, we've got a new refrigerator in. It's got some space on the side. Got a plan for that. You'll have to wait for the next video to see it. Actually, even though I've got a lot done, not everything is done. I had a week between when we worked on the last video to this video. And so we've really worked on this about 2 solid days of getting it cleaned up. But I did, in that week of being home, I found some great chairs. Let's take a peek. I found these really great retro chairs at an antique mall. I got them for like 35 bucks each. Got this really fun little mermaid pillow to throw on there. Now, yes, you're saying, Mrs. Wizard, those have wheels. Yes, they do, but we're gonna block them off so they don't roll. And even yet, they don't roll over well. What's nice though is they do pivot. And if I sit down, I can lean back. They have a little bit of a rock to them, so they're not just stationary and hard. So that was one thing I wanted to find as well. There was a lot of crap up here. I mean, a lot. He had an old CRT TV. It was gross, so we got rid of that. In addition to having the marine telephone system, they also had this wired for DirecTV and Dish Network, and we found remotes for both of them. I don't know which one they had in at the moment, but apparently they really could not live without television out on the water. So there's cable lines that were run to here, into the V-berth, into the aft cabin. It was pretty ridiculous. But that's all gone. We have Wi-Fi here, and what's a nice blessing is there's an access point just outside our boat, so we got a really good connection. Let's go check out the V-berth. So here we are in the V-berth, and you can see it is cleaned out. I flipped over the cushions so they're no longer that weird fabric on there, and they're a lovely brown naugahyde, which actually looks better and is easier to clean. This is where our daughter is sleeping, so she appreciates having everything clean and sterilized. Getting rid of that all that bedding back there shows how much space there truly is in this space. The door at the end leads to an access panel for the anchor. If we go back just a little bit, let's go ahead and take a look at the forward head. So it's kind of hard to see in here because it is a little dark. We are going to be replacing that light because we can't get a brighter bulb for it. just locally here. But you can see this is so much cleaner. We have definitely cleaned up the surfaces. The toilet is in much better shape. It is actually usable, functional. Got a towel holder installed. It's holding, at least to tell that, well, it's holding one for the amount of time being. But everything got cleaned, everything got polished, and it is in so much better shape, and we'll definitely appreciate this room even more after it gets a better light bulb. Let's move to the aft cabin. So here we are. This is the captain's room with the aft cabin in the back, and this is where the wizard and I sleep. And so this has lovely twin beds on it. We've got a couple of inches of memory foam on it, so a little bit of memory foam. Got nice little fuzzy blankets here. We got tons of storage on the sides. We've also got these little blinds. Now these blinds, their days are numbered. I've got curtains on order, and of course, we came up early Friday morning. The curtains I had ordered on Amazon arrived Friday afternoon. So be a good surprise for you on the next video. But they should look great in here and in the salon area as well. So we kept them up for right now, just so we could have a little bit of privacy, just because thinking somebody could literally just stand right there at the window and look straight in and watch us sleeping. Did not sound overly exciting. One thing that was a curse on this boat were the mud daubers, and you can see here, we didn't clean this off. And I left it there because I thought, why do I need to clean that off? I'm throwing those out anyway. But they were everywhere, all over the boat. All over, everywhere. You'd turn and there was a mud dauber nest. They were all gone. They'd been, you know, born and hatched and moved on, but everywhere. Now, let's check out the last place, the aft headroom. We haven't finished this room yet. Wizard took out the toilet. Almost lost the cookies on that one as well. He said it was really bad. It was a cassette toilet that was left filled, and so yeah, it was bad. It was worse when we threw the toilet off the carver. So you can see he's pulled up the carpet. It was just so bad and nasty in there. We're going to put something different down in here, so I'm definitely going to be working long and hard on here. If you notice on by the sink, you can see the staining underneath the toolbox. If I move it, remember those cans of pop there in the last video? Guess what? They froze and they burst open and leaked all over the counter. Yeah, I haven't tackled that yet. So I got a steam cleaner, going to be working on that, but this is the last room. And you know what? Without having a toilet, I thought, you know what? I really don't need to worry about this room yet. Everybody can just use the forward head, and we'll use the shower facilities that's here at the marina and call it good. We're getting there.
So a lot of the really disgusting, nasty jobs are finally behind us. We've got a lot of stuff to do yet, but it's all going to be small little projects here and there, bringing everything up to snuff. I'm so thankful that the heavy lifting and the disgusting jobs are done. You can see behind me there's the isinglass. Those are the panels that go up around the helm, the cockpit. Next weekend we're going to fit those and make sure they fit, and if they do, we're going to take them to Lowen Upholstery in Newton and see if he can make all new panels for me. And it'll look really, really nice. And I'll have them made in black to match the black bimini top. And once this boat is polished and buffed out, it'll all pop really nice. It'll look really nice. Like I mentioned, I'm waiting on the marina to install the new impellers for both Chrysler big blocks. I mentioned last video that they were 440s. They are not. They are Chrysler 400s, which is a boosted up version of a 383. They're all in the same family, the B Series Chrysler big blocks. But they're very powerful, and from what I read, all the different boats that these engines were used in, they're extremely reliable and very durable, bulletproof almost. So that's good to know, and it makes sense because when we first got this boat, we started the engines and they both started up and they both ran perfectly. Just sat there and idled, purring like a kitten. So both impellers are out. They had to special order them because they're twin impellers. One's a little bigger than the other. They're supposed to be here and installed this week. So hopefully in the next video with you guys, we'll be actually cruising in this thing out on the lake, if everything pans out like it should. It's very exciting. I'm glad to have this yacht. We've actually slept on it the last couple of nights. It was really, really nice. Nice air conditioning, very comfortable, lots of room. So thanks for following along on all the updates on the Trojan tri-cabin, and also thanks to Mark, El Capitan is what his new name is.
Boat Wizard.
Boat Wizard, yeah, I guess so. There's a lot of questions that have been answered on this. He's helped me out so much. Several things I didn't even know how this works or what this does, and he had the answers right off the top of his head. It was really, really nice. So in more boat videos, you'll probably be seeing more of El Capitan. If you're curious what kind of tools we use on this boat or in the shop, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and we really appreciate it. And make sure you hit the subscribe button because there's many more cool videos in the shop and with me and El Capitan to come. Thanks for watching.
See ya.